Hello, I am live. This is actually a really horrible position to be sitting in. Let me just move my things and show you looking up my nose right this moment. Sorry, because, um, okay. You can see my fancy way of blocking the sun there. My pillow in the window. Okay, that's much better. So you guys, welcome to Being Becca Live. This is where every week we come together once a week to really chat about the challenges that we face as autistic adults alive right now and not when research catches up. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm excited to have you guys today. My thoughts are a little bit more collected today than they were last week. So I apologize for that, but Walter was so distracting, and then I couldn't keep my thoughts straight anyway on top of it. So, uh, um, so today, though, I want to talk about something that I don't know if I'm the only person that struggles with it or is confused by it or doesn't understand it. I'm not exactly sure how to phrase it. Hey, CV. Um, and I'm just, so I'm going to do what I usually do, just to sort of spill out my thoughts on the topic. And right now, I feel like it might be sort of a light topic for us. It's, usually I talk about important things, and lately it's been really serious. But this is one of the lighter, I think, things that I still struggle with, and something that has been pissing me off, frankly, for the last whatever week or two. Just annoying to me. Hey, Bernard, thanks so much for joining. Um, so I want to talk about the fakery on the internet. I want to talk about the fakery. In fact, in particular, I want to talk about the fakery of filters, because it infuriates me. So as an autistic person, I really am attracted to, am like magnetized to people who are like fully themselves, who are really comfortable just being themselves, comfortable in their own skin. My brain like is attracted to people like that, and I think that the reason for that is that I was never comfortable in my own skin, and so I envied people who were just comfortable being themselves most of my life. And what bothers me about filters is that um, they are so good now that you can't tell when people are using filters, and B, um, I don't get it. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, I maybe kind of get the idea of filters. Like, they have some silly ones where if you put it over your face, you look like a dog or whatever. And I get that being like silly, funny. I like the ones where like your heads swap, right? And so it's a dog's head on a person and a person's head on a dog, whatever. Those are funny, right? I can see the entertainment value in them. But that's not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that are designed specifically to fool you. That is their intent. The intent is that they are to, hey Bill, that they are to give you the impression that the person who is um, doing whatever they're doing with the filter on looks better, the lighting's better, they have makeup on, they look thinner, their hair is a different color, whatever the filter's job is to do, right? And what bothers me about that is, um, not only do I find it fake and all of that stuff, and I'm not attracted to inauthentic things like a filter, but right, it bothers me when a filter more than anything, and this is now out of like the conversation about autism and into the conversation about me particularly with autism, right? I cannot stand when people who use filters pair their content up with it that's about authenticity. So if they're talking or doing a meme or doing a reel or doing a story or whatever about trying to be vulnerable and authentic and whatever that is, right? And they're doing it with a filter on. To me, it's like jumbo shrimp. It's like oxymoron territory, right? Like, what do you mean you're trying to want me to believe that you're being authentic, but you have a filter on, right? And that drives me nuts. And what makes me crazy about it is that using a filter for your videos, your content on the internet has become so normalized that to see unfiltered videos, content, etc., right, is kind of rare, I guess. And what's bothersome about it is that people who think they're being authentic and still use, like, they don't, it's normalized. So it's not looked at as this thing. And so what I don't understand is why, right? Like, CV says, I don't get it either. Honestly, both filters and the whole social media aspect, right? I don't get it. Like, I remember getting on Facebook and it was to connect with people. And I'm someone who does much better in text than I do in real time conversation or FaceTime or things like that. I'm more comfortable with it. And so I started on Facebook for that reason, to connect with people and as a way to, in fact, and I remember thinking about it very specifically, as a way to store my photos, which I know sounds silly now, right? But as a way to sort of be like, oh, hey, these memories will come back. I can relook at these pictures. I'll always be able to show them to people. They're, I can go to that place and pull them up, right? And it's just become so much more than that. Now, here's the thing. Filters are so good that I don't know if anybody else will admit to this, but I can't always tell when someone has a filter on. Like, that's how good they've gotten. And what that's done to me as someone who produces content, who I don't see the purpose of a filter. Like, if you ever saw me in real life after seeing me on the internet, you'd be so disappointed if all I did was come to you with filters on, right? It's crazy. And it would be even crazier to talk about the stuff that I talk about and use a filter when I'm talking about it. It's like an insanity piece to me, right? So it's also extra work. There's other levels to it that's not just, right? But I don't I don't see the filters, and I assume, because I'm autistic and we really do struggle sometimes with thinking that other people are as honest, as authentic as we are, right? So I see people and I just assume they're not using a filter and they are that good looking, that they are that put together, that they are just that gorgeous or that attractive or that well spoken or that whatever, good at doing all of these things, right? And so what that started to do for me, and I just noticed this recently, is it ticks off some piece of both imposter syndrome for me and also my body dysmorphia, right? So the issues that I have with what I look like, what I actually sound like, and my issues with the way that the body that carries me in it presents, right, is not something I'm always comfortable with. And this idea that, oh, you just throw a filter on, right? Just throw a filter on that. As like, just makes me feel like the internet is lying to me more. And it's also that whole idea that the internet is fake. So much so that there was a trend for a while where people did the filter, no filter, right? On the half sides of their face. But if that's the world that we're living in, and that to me is bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on it. What the fuck is with that, you guys? So yesterday, and this came up because I'm currently working on spicing up my social media, right? I've been doing it myself for a really long time. It's exhausting, but also without any new people or any new ideas or someone keeping up with the new trends or helping me to break down how to do those things, right? Helping me to edit the videos, all of that crap. It's been really hard to keep up, blah, blah, blah. But I've never been a followers chaser. That wasn't really the purpose of what it is that I do. So it didn't bother me so much. But lately, it's exhausting. It's draining to me, and it's not a creative space for me anymore. It doesn't energize me anymore. And it's not even doing its job really anymore, right? And so I went and got help. So shout out right now to Red Skirt Media, Isabel at Red Skirt Media, who is helping me with my social media. She's helping, me to create content and create a posting schedule and a whole bunch of other things. And she's just in general, actually a really nice person, and we really like each other. And so, you know how I feel about working with people that I like and that energize me. And she is one of them. And so I will tell you that for the last couple of weeks, she and I have been working really closely together, trying to sort of re-up my social media and all of that. And as I've been doing that, of course, I'm sort of forced to start to listen to some of the audios that are trending and all of that, and see the way that other people are doing those things, right? And all I am disgust, like I am nauseous from the amount of filtered nonsense we see out there. But I am like to the point of an ulcer over the people that are using filters that are supposed to look not like filters, that feel like trickery, and are then posting content that is about authenticity and vulnerability. Pisses me off. Because I feel like you are a scam artist, like you know, right? Like, what is that about? And it's not necessarily their fault, because this idea of filtering what we put out there, right, is the whole part of the why we worry about our mental health and social media, right? Because if we're normalizing filters so much that everyone's using them on the internet, and those are the images we're intaking, and then I look in the mirror and see myself, well, it's a bigger disappointment than it was before, right? And that messes with you a lot. And so I'm sitting here to say I have never used a filter on the content that I put on the internet. If I use any kind of filter, it's like to adjust the colors in a photo, right? Like you would if you were editing your own, photos that were film, right? And so, but I don't understand the filters. I don't get it. And so, I want to find the people that are not using filters and talking about authenticity. People like me, right? That here I am, and let's be real for a second, okay? It's not that I don't color my hair and all of those other things. I do it, and it's that idea. And right now I have a little makeup on. I'm gonna come closer. I don't know if you can tell. I just have a little mascara on and a little bit of eyeshadow, right? And I neatened up my eyebrows, and that's it, right? And my glasses, right? I don't even wear contacts. I can't wear contacts. But this is me, right? And this is me on a good day. I showered. My hair is clean and still kind of wet. I have a little bit of makeup on. I'm wearing a bra right now, right? And my t-shirt that you can get at the Redbubble store if you head over there. But this is me. And when I talk to you about those things, there's sometimes that I don't show up here with a little makeup on, or my hair clean, or wearing a bra, right? Many times I come to you that way because that's what we're talking about and dealing with and whatever. And so I guess, I sort of hit my limit with this whole filter nonsense last night when I was watching like a cute little short or whatever on YouTube, and the person making it was like doing their thing, and then all of a sudden went, oh, what's wrong with my mouth over there? It looks so weird, my mouth like that, right? They went, oh, is that the filter? Oh, the filter's doing that. Oh, I see. Never mind. And then kept going. So the filter that person was using made them look weird to themselves, and yet normalized leaving the filter on, right? And yeah, that was it for me. I'm done. It's not okay, right? Human beings don't look like that. We all aren't perfect, and we all don't put makeup on before we go to the grocery store, and we all don't wear a bra every day. That's just not how it works. And I think in this world of influencers, and this idea that we've made it not only so easy and accessible to have fakery out there, right? But we've normalized the fakery, and I'm not okay with that. Like, it just sits with me wrong. And so, I just wanted to share that, I guess, as someone who uses social media as a platform, mostly because it's free, you guys, it bothers me to be lumped together with those ideas, those ideals, right? Because they don't match me, right? And so they're not in alignment with the life that I want to live and all of that stuff. And so I think that's why it just gets to me so much. It's like, I'm just trying to live this real life and enjoy the journey, and take the good days with the bad days and all the whole deal, and just take a step every day, stay in motion, all the things that I talk to you guys about, be resilient, right? And then to know that there's the possibility, because I use these platforms, that I am then lumped into those categories. And so I will once again say, I am purposely authentic and vulnerable on this place because I'm tired of feeling alone in this journey. And when I do these live streams and you guys are like, yes, or hearts, or I get it, or this is how I feel about it, I feel less alone. And that means that somebody else out there must feel less alone too. And so I guess that's how I feel. So be wary, and know that I want to say almost 95% of the content you are looking at on particularly Instagram and TikTok, and even YouTube, because there's a lot of overlapping content, right, is very filtered. it is filtered, even if they're talking about authenticity, right? There is something about it that is filtered. And I am going to be trying out some new things on my social media, and I am going to be spreading my wings, and I want to share some of my humor with you, and I want to share some of my challenges that, and the ways that I laugh at myself and all of those things with you. And that's what Isabel and I are exploring doing with some of this content, right? But I want you guys to call me out, man. If I step like out of my wheelhouse, if you think that the stuff that I'm choosing to create that kind of fun content doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel true to the other stuff that I preach, like, you know what? Tell me, right? Because we're on this journey together. Like, I'm in it as much as you guys are. And it's so important to me that I stay true to me and that I don't go off my path. And I think if we do it right, the bubble people we surround ourselves with should help us to keep our boundaries set, right? And so if you catch me crossing my boundaries, if I'm doing some inauthentic content as I'm exploring in this journey and begin to share these things with you, shout me out on it, call me out, say bullshit called, Beck, whatever it is. But I don't want to fall in that category. It really upsets me. And it really messes with my mental health. And so I assume then it must mess with other people's mental health. And I just want to say, I'm over it. I'm over the filter fakery. I am over the idea that that's okay. I'm not going to be party to normalizing it. I really can't stand it. And so that's what I have to share with you today, is that the world out there is dangerous, I think, for us autistics who really believe in the idea of authenticity, who really have struggled for the right to be our authentic selves, for the ability to be our authentic selves, for the strength to create a life so we can be our authentic selves, right? And, when people choose to put a filter on that, I don't know, calling it out, right? And I don't want us falling for it. So, question the authenticity depending on where you're getting it from, right? I mean, you have to, when you see an oxymoron, you have to call it out. And that's what I got to say. Sometimes, right, authenticity is really just a jumbo shrimp. And that's the thought I want to leave you with today. Of course, I will be back here next week at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time on Wednesday to do the next Being Becca Live, where we will discuss some other new topic about what's challenging being an autistic adult alive right now. And in the meantime, I want to remind you that you can catch me here live on Wednesdays, but you can also go back to some old content that I've got on here on the YouTube channel, as well as catching up with info dump files, which is here. And I'm going to take this moment to let you guys know to keep a lookout for June episodes of Info Dump. Doug and I are putting together a really great series for Pride Month on autistic pride for you guys, and do some history lesson in this. So that is what we are doing. So keep an eye out for the June episodes of Info Dump Files. We're going to be doing one a week in June. So that's 4 episodes in June of Info Dump that you have to look forward to. And in the meantime, the May episode is up, which is with Nick Walker. Please go over and take a look at her interview. She did a great interview with us, and we had a really great conversation about world building and kind of fiction and character creation. It was really great. So check that out. Of course, the Redbubble store is up. You can always get in touch with me through my website contact page or at the email I have in the description. Until then, you guys, I will see you out and about on the interwebs. Of course, my mission to us all is to seek joy, create joy, share joy, all the joys. And I will see you here next Wednesday. Bye.